My name is Drew, and in 2021, I was T-boned by a semi going 60 miles an hour. Most people tell me when they look at me they would never know unless I said something, but I now have a permanent spinal cord injury and a traumatic brain injury. Most days are fine, and I appear as though I'm like everyone else, but I also have days where I am in my 20s and I have to walk with a walker just to get from one room in my house to another. I have a picture here showing what my daily walk to work looks like. It's about a 4-minute walk, and for most people that's perfectly fine, but for me some days it takes over 10 minutes and just completely sets me up for the rest of my day to be extremely exhausting and difficult. I've also grown up with disabilities my entire life. In the beginning slide, you saw a picture of my little sister, Aaliyah, who unfortunately passed away from epilepsy. And the other person you saw was my dad, who was in a traumatic car accident at the age of 19 and lost his leg. I decided to ask him a couple of questions regarding what he goes through, because I know that his experiences are different from my experiences. So I asked him, in what ways do you find that you're affected the most? What things are the most difficult for you? He said he struggles with chronic pain, carpal tunnel, damage to joints, increased falls, urinary and bowel issues from medications, depression, and anxiety. The hardest thing for him is feeling useless whilst others are doing tasks I cannot do. For example, moving a family member this past weekend. I basically spent the day doing nothing. Motivation is a huge pitfall as well. I then asked him, are there certain places that you go that are especially difficult to get where you need to be or to navigate? He said stores that think they're handicap accessible but aren't, places that follow ADA regulations, places that a person would need a cart but have no working electric carts. It's also difficult to do outdoor activities. For example, Baumgart's has really nice wide aisles but then stacks a bunch of stuff on the ends so you can't turn the corner. I asked him to elaborate on the ADA regulations, and he stated that the ADA regulation is that you have to have 3-foot clearance, and for him a lot of times that isn't enough because he's wider, his wheelchair is wider, and that space just isn't enough space for him to maneuver effectively. I've showed a couple of pictures that kind of show what he's stating and what I've found just going about my day-to-day life. For example, the doors on the west side Target really don't open up that far. They technically hit 3 feet, but I struggle getting in and out of them with my walker, much less someone with a wheelchair. The next picture shows me going down the aisle of a store, and a staff employee had put a ladder right in front of this pole in the middle, and it made it really hard for me to maneuver my cart around, and I'm not really in a position that I could move the stepladder myself. I also just showed the crowd at a Stampede game, just kind of showing how difficult it is for those of us with mobility issues to maneuver in those types of spaces. It makes it really difficult just to be able to go out and socialize with everyone else.